Good evening, assalamu alaikum, and welcome back to Salam Media. You're now tuned into Friday Night Sports with myself, Akid Dawood. Yep, it's the final weekend of the APSA Premiership, and there's going to be bumper to bumper action at the front end and the back end of the league this weekend. The Premier League is coming to an end on Saturday, and fans across the country will be glued to their screens, hoping for a favourable finish for their clubs. However, the title race isn't over just as yet, as Kaizer Chiefs and Mamelodi Sundowns are deadlocked on 53 points apiece. The only thing keeping them apart is goal difference. Who's it going to be? Sundowns, or will the title finally be going back to Soweto? But at the bottom of the table, we've got a relegation battle that will be going down to the final whistle. Firstly, Polokwane City are all but relegated to the Glad Africa Championship already, unless they have a convincing win against Bidvest. Then also you've got Baroka, who will be playing Amakosi, and that match would ultimately decide who's going to be relegated. Relegation obviously has a huge effect on all of these clubs, not only in terms of status, but importantly for the players, the financial state of the club as well. The APSA Premiership is a lucrative league, and there will be no shortage of motivation for either club to stay in the Premiership and potentially face being dropped down to the Glad Africa Championships. It's going to impact those clubs immensely. However, you've got Ajax Cape Town at the bottom in the Glad Africa Championships that are looking to come back and will do anything to come back after narrowly losing out to Morocco Swallows on the final day. And we've got also TTMFC, who have bought status in the Premiership for the 2020-2021 season. However, they will be taking place in a promotion relegation match. And to tell us more about what will be transpiring on the final day of the PSL season, we will be chatting to Palesa Motshoene, a football journalist who specifies in your APSA Premiership and your local football, and she's going to be giving us a breakdown of everything you can expect this weekend.
Hello.
Hey, how's it?
I'm good. How you doing?
All good. You're looking rather comfy. Ready for the action that's going to be happening tomorrow? Bumper to bumper action. What can we expect?
15:30, I'll be ready, holding the remote because I'll be changing channels to see what is happening. I think we are having, we're going to have one of an interesting day tomorrow because you've got two teams at the top which have got the same number of points and with just one goal separating them. So tomorrow is wafa for those two teams. It will be up to who actually wants it the most tomorrow. And I think both of the teams will come out guns blazing. More so Kaizer Chiefs because they haven't won it for like close to 5 years or so. Mamelodi Sundowns are used to it. They're defending champions. So we don't write them off as yet because any mistake tomorrow, it will either or will be the one that is lifting up the title. When it comes to the bottom of the table, I think as I look at the table from number 12, to be certain, from Chippa United, Amazulu, Black Leopards, and Baroka, all of them are not safe. Either one of them can go into the playoffs. We know that Polokwane City was automatically relegated when they played against Sundowns and they were beaten 2-0. So there is no chance unless a miraculous thing happens where Baroka loses and they win with plenty of goals, because the goal difference here is minus 17. So I'm not sure if that's a possibility. I think at this stage we could write them off from the league this season and see them next season in the NFD.
It's quite sad. Polokwane is a mammoth club. They've been contenders. They've been playing in the league for such a long time, and to see them drop, it's quite sad. However, if this league was run in emotions, Kaizer Chiefs would obviously be the deserved victors of the 2019-2020 season. However, it isn't, and it's going to be coming down to the wire tomorrow. Mamelodi Sundowns have it all to play for. They've recently revealed their kit for next season. They anniversary. Do you think that could be some type of motivation for them to want to give their all tomorrow and leave it all out on the field?
Perhaps that could be the case, but also Winning the league back to back. This will be the third time that they win it back to back. I think that's a big feat, and it will also cement their place in the PSL. Because for me, I just think that for the past since the inception of the PSL, Sundowns has been the most successful team in this past 20 years or so. So I think they are very motivated, and the fact that only one goal separates them, and that they not compared to Chiefs, they are a very high scoring team. I think they're probably motivated by that they are able to do it, and I think they'll go in there being the Sundowns that we know, playing their best football and making sure that they get the results.
No, definitely. And if you just go down and you peep a little bit lower down on the log, the top 8 battle intensifies. You've got Highlands Park that sits on 38 points. I wouldn't say comfortably. And Cape Town City in 7th position on 39 points. They're not as comfortable as yet. And anybody from Golden Arrows, right, or should I say Stellenbosch from 10th place, right until 7th spot, all have a run at getting into that top 8 position. It's going to be a tough day in the office for all of them.
Definitely, it's going to be a tough day in the office. I think for Stellenbosch, it would be a great opportunity for them to get into the top 8 in their first season in the PSL. But they're playing against Orlando Pirates, which is not an easy team, despite the season that they've had. They've just won against Maritzburg United in the weekday, and I think they're going to want to end off the league, the season on a high note. So I don't think it's going to be an easy game, but Stellenbosch is a very good team. They have actually marked themselves in the league this season, and I think I'm not sure if they will make it into the top 8, because I feel like that the game will end in a draw tomorrow. But they could surprise us, but it will also mean that Cape Town City and Highlands Park don't do well, for Stellenbosch to be able to come up. Cape Town City has been doing very well. I mean, they've been scoring some great goals. I think they're very motivated, and I think they will also want to end off the league on a great note, as with Highlands Park. In as much as Swallows have bought their status, but I think they would want to actually end off the league also on a high note.
Look, we're talking about status.
I mean, not Swallows. What is TX Galaxy? Apologies for that.
Yes, we're talking about status, and we do know that TTM is on the rise. They've bought the status of Bidvest Wits, who will no longer be in the ABSA Premiership, in the PSL as a whole. What do you make of that? I mean, Bidvest Wits have been in the league for the longest time, and to see a team of that magnitude suddenly just disappear off the face of the earth, it's quite a big deal.
I think anybody who has followed South African football would believe that losing out on Wits from the league is a very big loss to South African football. I think they have been one of the most consistent teams in the league. They about 2 years ago or so, they won their league for the first time, and this is a team that is 99 years old, and to see it actually leave our football scene is actually tragic. But I think that's the game of the business. When you have money, and you want to make money, you get to the point where you have to sell, and maybe when you don't also have sponsorship that can keep the boats sailing, what choice do you have? But it's also unfortunate for the players who have come through the ranks of the Wits development. I think so many players have come through the ranks of the Wits development. To see this institution go down like that is gonna be, it's very sad. But we hope that TTM will take up the reins and try to emulate what Wits has been to our football fraternity, and even be better if the case may be. To see it go like that, I think tomorrow will be a very sad day for South African football.
A very, very sad day indeed. And I mean, do you think that more should be done with regards to legislation and the constitution of the ABSA Premiership and the PSL as a whole, in order to keep somewhat of a sentimental value for clubs that have been around for that long, in order to keep them in the league? Because, I mean, it's almost like anybody can just buy status now. And talking about buying status, you've got TTM that have recently bought status. However, they will be playing in a promotion relegation playoff. What is going to happen to them if they do qualify for that promotion relegation playoff?
I think that's a very serious permutation, because if TTM wins, they are promoted to the PSL. So what happens? Does it mean that the team that is bought into TTM, which is Kukuni FC, is the one that takes up their place in the PSL? Because already their place is certain through the sale of Wits University. So I'm not too sure how that is going to work. But I think perhaps regulations, even if regulation will be there, I think what is important is that for the regulation to protect players. Because right now, what happens when a team gets sold, players don't know what happens tomorrow. If you have a 3-year contract, what happens to a 3-year contract when you are in your first season or second season? So I think what needs to happen is that players, most importantly, should be protected. If such a thing happens, there must be provision for those players, that they don't have to be running around looking for teams or clubs, and that their future is certain. Because I think what is most disturbing when it comes to the business, this kind of business, that the people who end up getting hurt by this is our players, and the players is what makes the football going.
Most definitely. And later we're going to be chatting to the chairman of Swallows, who will be telling us exactly how he's managed and his executive have managed to run the club as a business and become successful at it. And the results eventually start showing on the pitch, with Swallows now playing Premier League football again.
I think for me, it was very exciting because of course Orlando, Muraka Swallows, Swallows FC is a very old team, is a team of great people, who played for the club. Our fathers, our grandfathers, our elders have supported this team, and it's also a Soweto club. I come from Soweto, so of course it makes me happy to see another Soweto team coming into the PSL. I think the leadership of David and Banyaza has been phenomenal. I mean, to get a club that is so indebted 5 years ago, and to have it 5 years later to gaining automatic promotion into the PSL is a phenomenal story, and it's going to be a story for days. And I think many other businessmen or businesswomen who want to get into the field of football, or even who want to buy into statuses or whatever, that there must be some sort of passion that drives you. Because I think if you don't have passion for the game, you will never succeed. I mean, we saw what happened with Bloemfontein Celtics, with owners buying it. Next minute, there's a possibility that it was going to be sold, until supporters coming in and saying no, we can't. So you need people who have got visions. To say, where do we want to see ourselves in 5 years, 10 years time as a football club, and what do we invest into that? Because it's important. You have to have all of those things. Like I said, 5 years ago, we didn't even know that Swallows would be here today. It was on the brink of to the being relegated to SAFA regional league, and to have it on the brink of coming back to top flight football. I think it's the most exciting thing ever for the year 2020 in our football.
Most definitely. And I mean, it's great teams that are going to be competing. Soweto finally has 3 teams back in the Premier League. It gives those kids from the township a moving target to aim at, and tell themselves that I want to be there one day, and I want to be competing at the highest stage in South African football. Moving on, talking about the highest stage. Tomorrow is the final day of the Premier League for 2020. 2019-2020 season. Also, it will be the end of the ABSA Premiership era, where ABSA has been sponsoring the league. What are some of your great memories that you had while ABSA has been in charge, or let's say holding the sponsorship rights of the league?
I think the plowing back into football by big business is very important for the upliftment of the game, to getting such sponsorship and then being committed for a whole 13 years is incredible, where players are now getting a better paid salaries, where the monthly grant is increasing for clubs. Where clubs can actually get more staff to help within the running of the club, but also having teams also doing so well, trying to play better football, because when money is plowed back into the game, there also to be a professionalism in the game, in how players commit themselves to football. So it's been great to watch, and how they've also drawn in fans and made them the number one people within the football space. It has been important. It has been a great thing. You have this competition that they were holding where fans can kick penalties and they can, I think, win 1 million rands. That has been beautiful to watch. So I think we are going to miss them in our football. They've made a sterling contribution, and I hope whichever sponsorship comes in, they will continue with the great work that Absa did. But also, maybe I should mention that within this period of time, we had Orlando Pirates winning a treble. So that has been a great memory for the for the past 13 years.
Definitely under the great leadership of Lucky Lekwati at the time. Lucky
Definitely.
Lekwati, Dane Clyde, Benny McCarthy even played in that era.
Legends.
Legends of the game and legends of the South African sport as a whole. It's just, I think the next sponsor coming in will know definitely what to improve on and what to do. And we should be thankful and grateful for ABSA for bringing the numbers through our stadiums again and getting people more involved in the sport that they love most.
Definitely. Definitely. I mean, without the fans, what we have, I mean, they are the ones that keep the football going. They are the ones that motivate the players, they are the ones that make clubs flourish in the way they do, So it's important to bring in the fans and make sure that they are taken care of, because without the fans, there's definitely no football.
Definitely, we are reaching the end of our segment, and just to brief your listeners, your viewers, where can they get hold of you on your social media platforms, and what games are you specifically looking forward to tomorrow?
Okay. I'm obviously looking forward to the Mamelodi Sundowns game and the Kaizer Chiefs game. Particularly because you have one goal that separates the two teams. So I really want to see whether Kaizer Chiefs will actually take it on the final day or whether they will choke. But I hope that they don't choke, I'm not a Kaizer Chiefs supporter, despite me wearing yellow. But I think for a team that has led from the first day of the league until the 30th game, it is only fair that they win and actually take this league after 5 years. They'll also be representing Johannesburg, Soweto. So I am hoping for the best in that regard. But does not mean that I'm discounting Sundowns. Sundowns is a very good team, and we know that they know how to win leagues. We saw what they did in the past 2 seasons, coming back last season when they were busy with the schedule in Africa, but able to come back and win the league. So I am not taking that for granted. I know that they also wanted. I know how Pizzo is so competitive, and he knows that he can probably do it. But I also know that Baroka is fighting for their life too. They want to stay. They want to stay in the competitive league, because if they leave or go on to playing playoffs, they are the second team in Limpopo that will be playing, and I don't think that's good for Limpopo. Limpopo still continues to need teams in the PSL. So I think I'm looking forward to the action, merely because on the one side, Sundowns is playing with Black Leopards, the other side, Chiefs is playing with Baroka FC. But I'm also looking forward to the teams that want to actually fill up the top 8. Like we said, Cape Town City, Stellenbosch, Highlands. It would be interesting to see how those teams fare. For the rest of the teams like SuperSport United, Orlando Pirates, I think there's not much, as long as they've made it into the top 8, because there's nothing else that they can fight for. They can't even fight for playing in Africa, So I'm looking forward to that. But I'll be moving around and checking all games. It's going to be very exciting tomorrow. I'm hoping for just bumper football, great entertainment. Although there's not going to be fans in the stadium, but I think the atmosphere, will be very great. And for anyone who wants to catch me on Facebook, which I'm very active on, is my name is Palesa Motshoene, Palesa. My surname Motshoene. On Twitter, I am Miss Palulu, which is capital MISSPALULU. The same on Instagram. And I also am a writer for a UK website, which is Her Football Hub, which specializes in women's football coverage. So you can also catch my articles there, pushing South African football on the women's scene. So yeah, that's where you can catch me.
Definitely going to be looking forward to all of those articles and following you on social media tomorrow, as I know you'll have so much to say about all the football in action.
But it's going to be football all the way.
All the way. Thank you so much for your time this evening. I really, really appreciate it. Hope you have a good day of the farewell of the Premier League for 2019-2020 season. And yeah, that's us for tonight on Salam Media. We're going to be going back to studio where we're going to be chatting to the chairman of Morocco Swallows, giving us his insight and the vibe around the camp coming back into the Premier League. But thank you so much once again for your time this evening.
Thank you for inviting me. I always appreciate Salam Media inviting me. I hope that one day I'll actually be in the studio having my own show or coming to support whoever in their show and talking about the game of football.
Most definitely. We need to talk those things into existence. We need to talk into existence. We have to start somewhere. Thank you so much for your time once again.
Bye.
That's it from Palesa, giving us an insight on what we can expect in the Premier League action tomorrow evening. Exciting times. Kaizer Chiefs, Sundowns going for the title. They tied at 56 points apiece. Only goal difference keeping them apart. But yep, that's it from us. Let's go back to studio. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.